Hey there guys, let's go over a couple problems on our homework for lesson 8, order whole numbers and decimals. Okay, so we're just putting numbers in order instead of comparing them this time, except for you do still have to compare them to put them in order, but our goal is to put them in order from either least to greatest or greatest to least. So when you're doing your homework, make sure you double check you're doing the right thing, least to greatest or greatest to least. Okay, so some of these might be very obvious as to which numbers are bigger and which numbers are smaller. This one, for example, is not as obvious. So I'm going to show you a little trick to do if you have a hard time looking at these numbers when they're long ways like this. We can stack them so it's easier to compare place value. So I'm just writing these three numbers out, but I'm putting them on top of one another. So now I can see their place value much easier. Okay, all my place values line up. Hundreds, tens, ones, tenths, hundredths, thousands. Okay, so now that they're all lined up, we're just going to start comparing row by row, or column by column. Okay, so we want least to greatest. We want the smallest number first. So let's find that smallest number. We have 888. So far we're all equal here. So maybe we can just cross them out. Okay, now in the tenths we have 9, 9, and we have a 0. 0 is smaller than both of these 9s. So this number is automatically going to be our first number in our sequence of least to greatest. Okay, so now we're even done with that number. We don't have to look at it anymore. Okay, so that's our least. Make sure you separate these out well and write nicely so I can actually tell, okay? Alright, so next we're going to look at the ones place, and we don't even have to look at this number anymore. So our ones place are equal in both of these numbers, so let's move to our tenths place. In our tenths place, we have a 4 and we have a 9, and we want from least to greatest. So we need to take the smaller or the least number and use that number as our next number in our sequence of least to greatest. Okay, and now all we have left is this middle number, so that should be our biggest number. Okay, smallest 809 and 904 thousandths. Next is 890 and 409 thousandths. And then we have 890 and 904 thousandths. Okay, so this is my least to greatest. So these ones, greatest to least, don't forget. Let's go to the other side and let's check out, we're going to check out number 7 together. And hopefully we can just get this thing to focus in a little bit. The 4 fastest times in a race were 27 and 800 seconds, 27 and 8800 seconds, and 27 and 8/10 seconds, and 26 and 78/100 of a second. Order these times from least to greatest. Okay, so we have a lot of 27s here, 126. We need least to greatest. So again, I'm just going to come up here and I'm going to write all three of these numbers so my place values are equal. All four of these numbers, sorry. Okay, if you notice here, this 27 and 8/10 doesn't have anything in the hundreds place. But remember from yesterday's homework, we could just add a 0 to that and it does not change the value of your number. It just is a placeholder. It just shows that if there was a hundreds place in that number, it would be equal to a 0. Okay, you don't have to put it there, but I'm going to. Okay, so let's compare. In the tens place, we have all 2s. So that doesn't matter. That doesn't show us anything. It doesn't show us least to greatest, so let's move to the ones place. In the ones place, we have a 7, a 7, a 7, and a 6. We want from least to greatest, so we want to take the smaller number in the ones place, and that's going to be our very first number, 26 and 76/100. Okay, so now we're going to take a look at our tenths place. So this number is gone. We've already used it. Oops. through my math paper. We've already used it. Moving on from that. Okay, now we have a 0 and 2 8s in our tens place. So we need to take the smallest number, and that's our next number because this is our least to greatest. So 0, the one with a 0 is 27 and 8/100ths. So my next number, 27 and 8/100ths. Okay? Now we can exit that one out. We've already used it. And now let's look at the hundredths place with these two numbers here. Okay, we have an 8 and we have a 0. So that means that the one with a 0, or this placeholder of no value, is smaller than the one with an 8 in the hundredths place. 27.8, or you can put 8 or 80. I'll just put 80 just to make me remember. Okay, and then 27.88 or 27 and 88/100ths would be our last number there. Okay, so just make sure while you're doing today's homework that you really are checking if it says less than, greater than, or equal to. Okay? And I do see that I made a mistake here. This was supposed to be an 8. Sorry. But that does not change my answer. This is still my smallest or least number, and we are still correct in our work. Alright? Alright, so you don't make simple mistakes like Ms. Hedges. Pay very close attention to your work when you are doing it. Good luck on your homework. Don't forget. Maybe go through and highlight or circle greatest to least, shortest to tallest. Okay? Don't do the wrong one and get it wrong for no reason. Alright, kiddos, good luck.